Hey everybody, welcome back to Mr. B University. In today's lesson number 4, we're going to talk a little bit more about duration. That's how long or short a sound is. And we're going to investigate the musical notes that show duration and see how they're built and put together.
I'm going to bring up the 5 pieces we'll talk about today. We're going to talk about the notes we use in the beginning of our instrument lessons, so we'll look at these 5 pieces. The first piece is called an open notehead. The round part of our musical notes are called noteheads, and this one is open in the center. So it's called an open notehead. This second one is called a closed notehead. Unlike the other one, this is colored in, so it's a closed notehead. See the difference between the two? The first one was open on the inside, that's an open notehead. This one is closed on the inside, so it's a closed notehead. Our third piece is called a stem. Maybe because it's up and down direction, looks a little bit like a flower stem. Next we have a flag. Maybe because it looks like a flag hanging from a flag pole. And then lastly, our beam. Maybe that's called a beam because it's thick and strong like a metal beam. Those are our 5 pieces. I'm going to name each of these. I'd like you to repeat the name after me. Open notehead. Closed notehead. Stem, flag, beam. I'm going to go through that list one more time. This time, instead of me saying the name for you to repeat, I'd like you to try to name it before I do. I'll give you a few seconds to think it through, and then I'll say the name so you can check and see if you were right. All right? Let's start with the first one. Go ahead and name it. That's the open notehead. Next. Closed notehead. Stem. Flag. Beam. All right, so those are the names of those pieces. Let's chat a little bit about how we use these pieces. For example, if I were to build a note using only the open notehead piece, we would have a whole note. To build a whole note, you need only the open notehead. And typically that whole note gets 4 beats. It's a longer sound. Now, if I put these 2 pieces together, the open notehead and the stem, we come up with a half note. A half note is built using an open notehead and a stem. Typically that note gets 2 beats. Let's change our pieces again. Can you visualize those 2 pieces coming together? If we put the closed notehead and the stem together, we get a quarter note. And the quarter note gets 1 beat typically. Let's combine these 3 pieces and make an 8th note. This is what 1/8 note looks like when it's by itself. It's got the closed notehead, the stem, and the flag. And one more. If we use these pieces, closed notehead, stem, and the beam, we come up with 2/8 notes. Now these 2/8 notes don't have a flag hanging down like we saw before. These 8 notes take their flags and straighten them out and connect them together to make a beam. And we come up with 2/8 notes.
All right, that's lesson number 4. Please play the game associated with this lesson to find out what you learned today. And remember, click Get Credit so that you can get credit for completing this lesson at Mr. B University.